Demonstrating my sandwich shop database for IT 440 Summer Session 2 of 2015. Before I get too far into this implementation, I'd like to demonstrate a little bit of my database design behind it. I started in Microsoft Visio, creating a data model, pretty standard transaction-based model with a customer, an employee, and a product, or sandwich table in this case, feeding into order and order line tables. There's also a category table for the sandwiches, as well as position and status tables for the employees. From there I went into Excel and made up some data for each of the tables. This is based on the sample sales database from D2L. And once I knew what types of values would be in the database, I was able to create a data dictionary describing the metadata for each of these, which in turn allowed me to create the DDL script to create the database schema in Oracle. This drops old versions of the tables, creates the new tables, and grants security privileges for each of the tables. From there, I imported the Excel data into Microsoft Access and created relationships between each of the tables, which allows for validation of all of the data I made up and ensures that all of the tables connect properly. I also took this opportunity to enter the metadata from the data dictionary into the Access database. And once I was confident in this, I returned to Excel, created the DML scripts for the Oracle database using concatenation functions, and I'm able to insert all of the values into the database. Returning to the implementation of the database, I pretty quickly found that I was able to work with the existing table relationships and metadata, but I did end up changing the metadata quite a bit. Added drop-downs for the customer and employee genders, for example, since there are only a couple possible values, keeps bogus values from being inserted. Also added a date picker for fields such as date of birth, which not only makes it easier to insert dates, but also prevents insertion of invalid dates. And each of these changes also carries over to the forms, which made design of the forms very simple because they can pull everything straight from the tables. You also notice that I've added formatting to the sandwich table so that prices are shown with a $sign in 2 decimal places, as they should be. I've also added drop-downs, or rather list boxes, to the employee table for the position and status of the employees, as well as to the sandwich table for the categories. Everything else is pretty consistent between each of the tables. Settled on this design pretty fast. Felt it was pretty effective. Search, navigation, we can save modifications, add new records, delete records, and also query on the records, which I'll demonstrate shortly. The orders table is slightly unique in that it not only has searching, addition, deletion, navigation, and modification, but it also has a subform which has each of the lines for the receipt for the order, as well as the sandwich name, price, category, quantity, and a line total, which is simply the product of the quantity and price. I've also got a quick find box for orders, which shows the most recent orders first, allowing us to return to recent orders. If, for example, we get a customer complaint, we can offer a refund or whatever action is necessary. Returning to our query option, we see that, for example, if we choose a sales employee, we can click Show Employees Orders, and it will filter the orders table in a new tab to only orders taken by that employee. Notice employee ID is 14 for each of these. Also in the orders table, we have drop-downs for the employees and customers, which show their ID and their name, making it a little more user-friendly. We don't have to memorize ID numbers for anyone. Overall, I feel this is a pretty effective user interface. Could probably benefit from a few graphical changes, but functionally I feel it's pretty effective, and it's a database assignment, not an art class assignment, so I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching. You've been a great audience. I've been Lance Bressler. Have a great rest of your summer.